Good morning, Carla Hartley here. I am going to be starting a series discussing the family estate, the community property estate. This is not a probate discussion. We're going to be talking about factors that affect the distribution of the community estate. I'm not going to be defining the community property estate. You can look that up on any Google search. I want to talk about specific components which comprise most community estates. We're going to start with the former family residence. I'm going to call it the former family residence because by the time a petition has been filed for dissolution of marriage, somebody is looking at getting the house with the other person not in it. That's the point at which it becomes the former family residence. So your former family residence has a couple of different components. The one I want to talk to you about today is the idea of fair rental value. There's often a struggle for one party or the other to stay in the house during the pendency of the divorce. And people need to understand that the party staying in the property during the divorce may very well, unless certain circumstances are met, be running through his or her share of the community property value in that residence. So the fair rental value, every property has a fair rental value, okay? The former family residence is no different. It has a fair rental value. So once the fair rental value is determined, if you are the spouse staying in the house, then you are enjoying, to the exclusion of the other spouse, 100% of the fair rental value. The problem is your spouse owns the other half of that fair rental value. Okay, so if you are in the house, you are incurring a debt to the other spouse on a monthly basis for half of the fair rental value. This can be mitigated if you are also paying the mortgage. If you're paying the mortgage on the former family residence while you're living in the house, this will often mitigate the problem that you run into with the fair rental value, because half the debt on that house is his as well or hers as well. So they can offset each other. I'm not going to go into the math with you here. What I am going to say is not enough attorneys advise their clients at the front end that just because you're in the house, that's not the win, okay? Too many people are making this decision with emotions in mind and not looking at the math. We are all about your long-term financial security. The former family residence, whether you're going to end up with it or not, is a big part of that financial security, either the equity you're taking out of it or the house that you're left with the equity in it. All right. So what you don't want to be doing during a protracted divorce is to be spending your equity on a monthly basis because you're living in the house and opposing parties paying the mortgage, because that's the worst thing that you can do. If you're living in the house, you're incurring a debt to the party out of the house called the outspouse for half of the fair rental value every single month. And if the other spouse is paying your mortgage, and not in lieu of spousal support, but paying your mortgage, then you're incurring a debt to the outspouse, not just for half the fair rental value, but for half of that mortgage value that is also your debt. I have seen clients come to me when they've been in a divorce proceeding for a couple of years, and this is an all new concept to them. And I think that is tragic. They've been making a decision they didn't know they were making every month of their dissolution procedure by staying in that house and operating for short-term financial and emotional gain rather than long-term security. So that's my first in this series. I will be talking about some of the components to the fair market value in our next discussion. Have a good day. Bye-bye.